All right, let's do a mock draft, shall we? First of the draft season, 2025. Just dropped my eighth annual Tennessee Titans offseason game plan. Thank God for 8 years of success and the ability to do it. You guys can check that out on my X page at BU_scouting. And within that document, I do have a surprise quarterback that I targeted. But for Tennessee Titans fans' sake, just for the stick and pick scenario, I will be doing no trades in this draft. And I will be just picking straight up stick and pick scenario, which in that document, I do have a stick and pick scenario, and I really like the players that I targeted for the Titans. I honestly think if I were to bet, it'd be very close to what they actually do. Um, Outside maybe a one or two picks, depending on if the player is available. So let's get this thing started. Don't want to keep you guys on this thing all night. So let's start this draft. I already know where I'm going. Let's look at the trades just you know, for the sake of looking. Bears, what really? I'm not even gonna entertain it. Let's go and get what the Tennessee Titans should do at this position in the draft. Take their guy, Cam Ward. And before I make the selection, my reasoning behind taking Cam Ward over Shador Sanders or even, Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter is simply because Cam Ward is at a peak positional value. He's at peak positional value, excuse me. You need a quarterback. And then when we actually talk about the quarterback position, you have a guy that has pocket mobility, arm strength. He has the mentality to come in every day, work hard. He's all football. You're never gonna have to worry about him in distractions. The guy's gonna be locked in. And he has the talent to be one of those top quarterbacks in the league. Now, if there is reservations that I have with Cam Ward, it is things that most evaluators, you know, the average fan can't see, because I've been doing this for a long time and I've seen a lot of different types of players, their play style, their body type. I do have reservations on Cam Ward's body type. And that's, the details of it. And I try to keep that, like, I put it in my quarter bucket, meaning 25%. I try to keep my RAS, athleticism scores, my putting on the doctor hat. I try to keep that a fourth of my evaluation. And a part of the fourth of my evaluation with Cam Ward is thin lowers. And over my years, I've always noticed players, how they're built, how they're proportioned, because no 6'2", 225 player is built the same. The proportion is different. Some people have, big calves. Some people have thin legs. Some people have, thin ankles, small feet. So it's all different. And the way that he's built, he does have thin lowers. He is a little bit slew-footed. That does concern me for lower body injuries. Now, obviously, he didn't have that in college, but that is something that I'm concerned about. But other than that, all things being equal, he is the superior quarterback in this draft class because of the arm talent, the natural throwing motion, the velocity, the second reaction ability, the leadership skills. So, and that doesn't take away from Shador, who I think will have a good career as well. I think it may take him longer to get going, but once Shador gets going, he's going to be a Geno Smith type of quarterback to where you can trust him from the pocket. He can make accurate throws. And Shador Sanders is a player that I don't have any concerns with his body type. The guy was skinny in college, but you can see that he's gotten bigger, he's gotten more muscular, and I don't think Shador will have those issues. It's just that he doesn't have that much athleticism. Um, he doesn't have much athleticism outside of a little pocket mobility. So I'm going to take Cam Ward here. Long explanation, but that's where I went. Wait a second. Are we serious? It was a one. It was a one player draft. All right, let's run this back, man. I'm not. Yeah, let's run this back. Rounds. Okay, there we go. Let's run this back. That was a good explanation though. Can you guys tell I've been doing a lot the last 72 hours? All right, here we go. Now without the explanation, because you got a really good one in the first few minutes of this, we're gonna take Cam Ward for obvious reasons, right? What I just said. All right, with this pick, many people have been talking about in real time to trade down, wanting to trade down to get more picks. In my stick and pick scenario, I did try to target a edge player. Of course, they're gonna do all that stuff. Edge. Who was left from the edge? So this spoiler alert, I did target Shamar Stewart, and you know, it might be unrealistic to think he won't be there. Um, but there were concerns with him. But I guess saner heads prevailed. He is already taken. Let's see where Shamar Stewart got taken. And these are guys that, okay, just at 22. So I wasn't, it's not egregious or anything. So I did want to target edge here. Um, and there was a few players that I liked in the process, and I thought I saw his name. Yeah, TJ Sanders, as a or was it Turner? Is it two Shamars? Or am I seeing? Yeah, so there's two Shamars. Okay. Um, I gotta see more. But this is not. I'm trying to make sure, guys. I'm trying to make sure that I'm not tripping. Okay. All right. But I did like TJ Sanders' take, but I'm gonna play the field here. Yeah, I'm taking TJ. Feel very comfortable now. Feel even better. TJ, when I watched tape with him, just a awesome interior force as a pass rusher. He's a little stiff in the hips, but I definitely like the pick. I definitely like the value there. And the Tennessee Titans, a lot of people are not talking about this. I hate saying a lot of people. Like, who cares about a lot of people? But um, he's the type of player where the Titans are getting a little bit long in the tooth at that position, getting expensive at that position. You're gonna need to reboot that defensive line at some point. And I think TJ is an awesome player right there. Good value. So 103 in the game plan, I went wide out. Um I felt like that's where the value starts to come, and look, lo and behold, there we go. The Titans met with Isaiah Bond at the combine. He's a speedster, very similar to, well, the usage. I think the Titans can use him in a similar fashion to how Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs used Xavier Worthy and all those speedster guys that they have, like McCole Hardman over the years, just as a gadget player, and then eventually develop into a downfield target. Um, and I think you know obviously Mike Borgonzi coming from KC, he might want to start getting those fast guys where, Cam Ward is often compared to Patrick Mahomes. So it is a player, you're trying to get these similar situations to try to get similar results. So I can definitely see Isaiah Bond being picked right there. So at pick 120, where did I pivot to? Did I pivot to, heck, it's right here. I guess you guys can see. Uh, I pivoted to offensive line in the fine print. I pivoted to offensive line and I got a developmental tackle. He's probably gone. Yes, he's gone unless they got him ranked as a guard on here. I don't think they have him ranked as a guard. But the Tennessee Titans, obviously, they signed that mega deal for Dan Moore and then signed Kevin Zeitler. Um, but Zeitler is about to be, he's 35. So obviously you're going to need to replace that eventually. So I did go offensive line though, because I thought that's where the value will start to like really hit its bottom of the barrel. So if you want to tackle a developmental tackle that can go inside as well, maybe just an all-around offensive lineman, this is, where you should kind of target that player, whether it be a tackle, um, obviously all around offensive lineman. you want the ability to probably kick out or kick in, but man, this is tough sledding here, right here to really be confident in a guy um at this stage. Let me look at everybody. I'm just gonna play it straight up from a value perspective. Now, the Titans have met with Jaden Blue. I do think this is an option as well. Did I take a running back later? No, so I didn't take a running back later. So this could be where I take because I don't like the offensive lineman here. I'm gonna be honest. I do think that there's like the guy from Cincinnati. I do think with development, Luke Kendra. I do think with development he can be something. Willie Lampkin is obviously undersized, so he's gonna have to be like center. He's gonna be like Aaron Brewer, as Titans fans know. So I'm just gonna go with the theme of players that the Titans have met with, and just kind of just play that game right here and take Jaden Blue, who a lot of people feel like he is, you know, very comparable to some of the top running backs that were taken probably in the first two rounds. Um, you know, like Henderson out of Ohio State. Some people believe that Jaden Blue is very similar to him, but at a value, a little bit later. So let's go ahead and take Jaden Blue. Um, because once again, Titans are paying Tony Pollard probably more than they want to, especially with this new regime. So we got to think about the future here with the Tennessee Titans trying to just pay for, less expensive talent at positions that they already have, guys that's getting paid a significant amount. So then I'll pivot it to edge. So this tells you that there's a game here where, I made that draft pretty much off the basis of my thoughts about how value would be in this draft. And for the most part, it's panning out. But the only guy we couldn't get to was it was going to be Charles Grant out of William and Mary. He was already gone. So and Tyler Barron is gone from Miami. So now you got to pivot off edge, and that's understandable, right? Because we're looking at and um we're thinking about what is valuable, positional value, right? So edge, the guy that I wanted from edge, he's gone. The guy that I wanted from tackle, gone. These are premier positions in the league, and here I am looking for them, and they're gone. So and it also shows that they were drafted where they were supposed to because it could be I could have taken one of these guys where then it's like okay maybe you overdrafted him so that's not the case here so let's just play it straight up again. Top remaining. I love Brashard Smith's games. He's one of those guys that every year I find I'm not completely finished with watching everybody, but I think early he's one of those guys. My supporters know every year I find the speed guy, like whether it be in Cavante Turpin in the past, Tyreek Hill in the past, Chris Johnson in the past. I've been able to find those speed guys or Deontay Hardy in the past. So, um, who is that? An edge of the people remaining. Let's go to edge. Let's see if I like an edge here because the Titans gave that big deal to Draymond Jones. They're gonna need another guy. Here we go. Of course, it's everybody but who I'm trying to get to. All right, edge. And let's tab these players off. If you don't mind. And let's keep offensive tackle up. That's fine. All right, so edge. Hmm, who do I like here? I'm gonna be honest. I'm not just head over heels. Let's not head over heels with the prospects that are remaining. Um, but if I have to, 32 pressures, and we got the combo of 11 sack slash hits. Let's go Savion Jones, sight unseen, real quick. Sight unseen. All right. And then what did I do with pick 167? I think I got, yep, I got Cam Ward's former teammate Kyle Williams. And of course, he has already been drafted. And who took him? They took my other guy too. Did I not already get the Jackson Halls? Nope. They valued Jackson Halls way earlier than I thought too. This is where it gets crazy, man. This is why when people be like, here's my mock draft and this, that, and the third. Do you not know? And I do live drafts. Like when the draft is going on in April, I do live drafts. So I'm picking as the Titans are picking. It's easy to do mock drafts when you just say, I want this player, I want this player, I want this player. But when these players are really gone, what is your pivot game like? Like that really tests. This is the type of stuff that people aren't getting enough of in practice. And this is only like point 0.00003% of what it takes to be like on this level. You know what I'm saying? So like people just don't understand. Like it's so many the Cowboys took Kyle Williams too. All right, that's cool. It's not like it matters, but that's who they took. I do want to get to a receiver here because I think that it's going to start dropping off. Um, Jalen Lane, fun fact, I did recruit him. So I used to work for a college in the CUSA, and Jalen Lane was one of the players that I remember vividly recruiting, and he actually went there. So I went through, it has to be hundreds, probably close to thousands of players, and you do these write-ups, and you just kind of basically make kind of highlights for the coaches and stuff. And he's one of the people that I really was high on, and he ended up actually going to the school, so that kind of tells where I was at. But then I got the daggum shirt on. But it's pretty cool when you just do you work in the industry and then things like this happen. Like Lee Autry in 2020, Danico Autry's brother recruited him, and then Trey Knox, tight end that got he was unsigned or undrafted. I think he went to the Vikings. He's he's a guy that you know I worked with him, go like during his journey early before he left for college. Um, led workouts for him and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. But let's get back to the drive. You guys don't care about that kind of stuff, man. You just yapping. But we already took running back. You could double up at quarterback here because obviously my receiver isn't there, and with the players remaining, like. It would be overdrafting at certain positions at this point. A lot of people like Emory Jones, and we haven't took a tackle yet. It's not great, not good. Um, I mean, it's not good grades now. PFF isn't everything that people love to say, but I sure do love when people negate and just totally, like totally. I love when people totally like absolute. I love people who do absolute takes. That lets me know that you can be beat. That lets me know that you have a lot of misses. So I never say that. I think it's a given that a tool used to help select players is imperfect. That's common sense to me. So I don't have to say that, PFF isn't perfect. It isn't everything. So I don't have to say that. I already know that that's a known thing. It's man-made. So anything man-made can falter. So, that's not something that I have to say. But I sure do like the people that certainly have issues with it because it definitely gives the people who know how to work through these things, it definitely gives them advantages. So this guy here, O'Donnell Fortune, was apparently playing out of his mind this last year for this draft. This is very hard to pass on. Run defense. I remember I've had to skim through tape, just being transparent. But I always get through all the tape before the draft. Trust me. Trust me. I always do that. But this is value here. We could double dip at quarterback. Um, Titans just, and this is post thought execution here. They just released a cornerback. Depth is going to be a need. Fortune played very well. I do think Kyle McCord I don't think he's a sleeper. I think people see the talent. But I'm not gonna go with that double quarterback thing right here. We're just gonna get some variation and take O'Donnell Fortune. All right, 178. What did I get here? I think this is where I wanted to get Jackson Halls, but way too valuable for that. And look, McCord is still there. Well, what do you know? Yeah, I remember. I think I remember that. I do remember that watching on them, and I'm thinking to myself, you guys are listening to my thought process. But let's go ahead and take it. I mean, he's right there. He's like saying, draft me. Let's make a quarterback controversy. Let's make a quarterback controversy year one. Let's do it. Who would I get to in the stick and pick scenario? I got to a safety. And once again, an expensive position that the Titans are paying right now to Amani Hooker. Eventually, they're going to clean house at that position. And to be honest, Amani Hooker needs a running mate right now. Let's keep that up. That's fine. I saw these. I know who I took personally at safety. Uh, the Tulane safety, Ransaw, is not there that I had them taken. So, but I know who I took personally in my draft, and I really like his game. It's probably not a fit with the current regime and how they would see it, but I'm trying to stick more to what they would do, and I don't really do that a lot. Um, Trying to think of the type of safety that I usually see like the Chiefs take. It's usually like a, a tall, like at least 6 foot, 205 pounds type of safety. That's what they like. Say, well, right there, right on par. And they have to have some type of athletic profile to them. They don't even have to be like complete players because I really think that they trusted that coaching because that coaching is awesome. It's so underrated with the Chiefs. But as long as you're like an athlete, they can work with you. And I think that's the biggest thing. As long as you got some weight to you, got some brawn to you. Like these are perfect like height weight matches for the Titans. Perfect height weight matches for the Titans. And you don't have to be single high. You don't have to be all that. A lot of times, like you'll hear these players like, or hear these people that's already, scourge the earth with these prospects. Like I remember him, blah 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 blah. Man, all that is lip service at this point. I promise you. I promise you. Once you get to this point of the draft, I've been doing this for long enough. Once you get to this part of the draft, it is close to y'all favorite word, crapshoot, as there is. I'm telling you, it is as close to it as possible because they're here for a reason. And unless you have just a complete oversight, you're not gonna it's not gonna give what you think it's gonna give. It's just not. And that's I don't even think that's being pessimistic. Right now you're just trying to find some type of endearing quality with these players. I watched Mickens last year and some cross checks. That defense, it's pretty disciplined defense. And I think coming from where he's from, he has the height and weight profile. He comes from a program that has had some winning, knows how to win, you know. I think that's pretty enticing. Now, the guy that I took was Craig Woodson. He's a hitter, heat-seeking missile. I'm not so sure that will be a fit with this regime. I'm not so sure if they're looking for people that's just knocking people's heads off like that. I think they want more of a discipline type of, you know, I'm not gonna say choir boy. There was a regime with the Titans that just kept drafting just choir boys, and it was so frustrating. They would sacrifice talent to draft a guy that was just perfect off the field. So, um, I'm trying to get to in the mind of what this regime has done because I'm gonna do my own separate draft later. You're just looking at programs and looking at winning programs. You're also looking at players and fits. Moore is a guy that can, I think, is versatile, and he's obviously selected by one of the best DB coaches of all time. And then Mickens has had a lot of winning, so it's really just up to those Mickens or Moore. And just for sake of rankings, let's go Mickens. Ooh, they had Graham Mertz at the end getting drafted. Not bad. All right, so the grade and draft. That's their critique. Should have drafted Abdul Carter, but they gave me an F for taking a safety at the end. That's crazy. Because y'all had him number 24. Y'all think he's undraftable. Cool. But that is the draft. It's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, what you do is you give Cam Ward a receiver and Isaiah Bond to match up with Calvin Ridley and Van Jefferson. You get some depth and rotational pass rush and run stuff in Billy with TJ Sanders. You get a guy to throw in the mix with Jaden Blue, you know, that's going to compete with Tajay Spears for that RB2 spot. You got Savion Jones coming off the edge, giving you pressures, sacks, and hits. O'Donnell Fortune, who had a hell of a last season there at South Carolina, and that's going to add to the depth of the cornerback position after releasing Chidobe Awuzie. And then you're going to double up with the quarterback position with Kyle McCord and just add a little bit of spice to that narrative of quarterback controversy because this guy, Kyle McCord, can spin the ball. He absolutely can spin it. So having a reinforcement, similar to a lot of teams have done, most recently the Patriots, as you can see, Joe Milton has shown himself to be a valuable trade asset. So those type of situations can happen. And then RJ Mickens, just to get a running partner with, I know the Titans signed Xavier Woods, and I think he has an opportunity to get some starter minutes. But just adding a guy to the mix, I think is a solid get, even though they disagree because of the value there. But that's who I would have drafted. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you guys on the next one.